Good morning. Today I am doing the full moon over Hawaii, and I am using the deck as for the forecast this week, Mana cards, the power of Hawaiian wisdom. I started working at the farmer's market this weekend. What date was it? Day before yesterday. It was the 9th. Set up my booth and will be available in Hawaii for meeting. You can come meet me and we can set up a time and place for your astrology chart. I had a great turnout. I was very pleased, and I thank the community for the number of people who came over, saw me, talked to me, and took a business card and talked about getting a reading. And for all of you, I'm very grateful for this. I'm a bit overwhelmed and excited. Hawaii. Why did I choose to get this deck? Well, a very lovely lady came into the farmer's market to my booth and pointed these out to me at this lovely little store called Kohala Grown. And it's a little local kind of corner store that we have, but features very healthy foods. And they have these cards. This deck was written by Catherine Kalama Becker, PhD, and Doya Narden. And it is a lovely deck. Now, today I'm wearing some accoutrements, some things that are very important and very Hawaiian. I have a shark's tooth, and I will go into why I am privileged enough to wear this shark's tooth in another video, but not today's. I am also wearing a ceremonial bone necklace, which I picked up right after graduating from astrology program. And why I'm wearing this necklace, even though I don't feel that it's fully prepared for me, nor am I for it, Spirit told me to put it on because ancestrally, the bone necklaces are to help us communicate with our deceased loved ones and those we don't know, but that are a part of our pod. Okay. And I'm wearing these traditional items that I don't know the name, and I do apologize, and I have this one on my left wrist so that as I do this reading, I am open and receptive to what Spirit has to say to me. Now, this reading starts out, I did the chants. This is a 4-card reading, and it is very particular to the Hawaiian culture. 4 is a very important number to them, the Hawaiian people. This deck has 44 cards, and they look to the 4 corners, the 4 elements, to remain in balance in life. So I went ahead and I drew these cards because I'm doing specifically the full moon on the 13th, although I normally do them in segments that just follow the dates exact. I didn't do the 11th, I did the 13th. We're already under the influence of the full moon. And I can tell you, I know this because I just had a terrible time sleeping last night. And I always do when I am feeling the full moon. I'm psychic, I wake up, I answer posts when people go, what's wrong with me? Whatever. This particular time of the month, my cycle, as the moon becomes full, I'm a waning moon. I was born during a waning moon. So the moon was full and now going back to the new moon. This is where I'm highly psychic, is right in this period. And here we are. I'm like probably going to just be, talking from the 8th house, which is where I have a stellium. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in and let's look at this first card, this card number 6. And this is, and I'm going to probably butcher, and I do apologize to the Hawaiian people, the local people, if I butcher your language. I'm very earnestly trying to learn. And if you want to contact me and work with me directly on teaching me, I would love to learn, because there are some things about this culture and myself that are vibrationally a match. Now, people come here and they feel that they have some right to be here. They can afford it. But in coming here and affording it, this particular card is saying that the ability for these people to remain devoted to their land and their people is becoming compromised. Notice the egg shape. And notice the lizard up on the top part. Lizards are very much part of this community. And these people are seeking in ways healing from a process that has overtaken them in a way that's really an uncomfortable process. And for whatever reasons, it appears to me that during this full moon, this is going to become more obvious and is more obvious. Now, I participated in some 4th of July issues here, and I hate to say this, I'm so indoctrinated in a way, like we all are. I come here and I think, okay, yeah, I'll celebrate the 4th of July. I'm looking forward to that. And I don't want to put off fireworks. I don't really like them. I find them to be obnoxious, scary, bomb sounding, and I have PTSD, so I don't really like them. But nevertheless, I've participated in it. And in fact, participated in this one, went to an event in Kohala. That was a local event. But this time, something occurred to me. You'll notice this 5 card, the divine conflict. And you notice that we have the night side of this card upright, that we've been going through divine darkness here. And we are seeking divine light. And what is causing us to be in this divine conflict, this darkness? Well, this location in 1969 was taken over by the United States without the sign off and well-being of the people, without their agreement. And so there is a divine conflict here. And if you add the 2 numbers together, there are 5 of these cards in this that have this dual images on them. And this one is in reversal. So you have to pay attention. It is showing we're in divine darkness right now. But the 2 numbers together become a 10, which means that there's going to be a completion process in this divine darkness, that we are awakening. Something new is coming under the light of this full moon. And notice the full moon even this time. Now, the cards pick me. I don't pick the cards. But these cards seem to understand I want to talk about the full moon today. And thank you, Spirit, for helping me do this. Before I did these cards, I did the chants for each one of these cards that they would open up to me and reveal their inner wisdom. I am wearing the bone tribal ancestral necklace and the other items so that I may bring you these stories from the past as if someone other than myself is speaking. Now you notice that we have a Ho'oponopo 24, and it's a group of people sitting in a circle. And there's a grid up in the top and this lovely, heavily seated wheat with a bowl of water, suggesting that family is this beautiful process of giving and receiving here on the islands. And I can tell you that this is very true, that we go often to a place called Mahukona, which is more of a local place for Hawaiian families to gather with their families and have big gatherings, and they do often. And I want to be adopted by a Hawaiian family. I find them, their inner beauty, their receptiveness to love and nurturing to be something that I'm deeply attracted to. But again, what I need to say to you about that is I'm going to go into this at a future date. I don't believe that I'm allowed just yet to come out in public and say what's really going on here, but it will occur in good time. And I'm waiting for the right moments. I'm waiting for spirit. I'm waiting for a tribal leader to talk with me about what's happening. I have words in Hawaiian that were given specifically to me that I am only to give to the right person when that person becomes available to me, and I will know. So very interesting. And what is this? It's about communication. The Ho'oponopo is about communication. Some communication starting to come forward about the darkness here. Now, I watched a video, and I'm just going to quickly look what the name of this woman is that on the 4th of July provided this powerful, and I do mean powerful, 1 minute story, not quite 2 minutes. Okay. And let me just open it up and see what okay. Her name, this was taken from Silver Spook on Twitter, was where I got the original. And let's see, what was her name? Oh, I wish I had it. At any rate, it's on Twiggy by Design, but the Twitter thread is Silver Spook. And she spoke on July 4th, and she talked about how this land was stolen on the 4th of July. Why we should be very mindful on the 4th of July is it has a great deal to do with what happened to the Native people and how we steal their lands and leave them destitute in a trail of tears. And don't think that's not happening here. In fact, it very much has and is currently. And I find myself heartbroken for the people. Homelessness here on the island. You think it's not happening? Well, let's move on to our next card. Awa. In fact, it is happening here. What's happening is these people, as the billionaires move in and spend 35 million for a nice ocean view property, create a situation where all property values go up and all tax values go up. And if you're a local person making $18 an hour, if you're lucky, this can be a very difficult formula to deal with. $5,000 a month for a family home for rent is not affordable to the local people. And as much as there's been an effort to deal with this issue, it has not been available to the people exactly because it's out of their price range. Not to mention, I do believe Hawaiian Homes, the political body that it's in, has a good deal of issues with corruption. Money breeds problems, and people that have access to the money do things they shouldn't do. And it's kind of one of our unfortunate faults. Okay, so this card, it's about sacrifice. What have they sacrificed for you to have this lovely vacation? And you know what's really sad is it's really not so much about the average person like you or me coming here and having a vacation. The local people are lovely. They want you to come here and have a vacation. They love their jobs, sort of, okay, provided that you're respectful. They come with so much beautiful aloha spirit. But if you're not respectful, imagine how difficult this gets for them, where they aren't making enough money. A lot of them are living in tents and in their cars with their families, going to work, trying to live the dream. But the dream here is unfortunately not affordable. Now, I live here under circumstances that are a bit unique. I house sit, I pet sit. So I'm not here paying $5,000 a month as a part of the problem. And if you are, I want you to question yourself and what you're doing and how it is affecting others, because it seriously is a problem and you need to stop. You need to leave. Be here for a vacation. But if you're doing things in that sense that create a crisis for the local people, leave, do the right thing. So I'm going to stop share and I'm going to then go right on into the chart. And I do very much, I apologize because I know it's a dream for people to come here and have the aloha spirit. But at this time, you can see I've written a 10 down. Why did I write that? Well, we're more or less, in a sense, in a completion process. The people here are questioning. COVID has brought about a process where they're saying, wait a minute, the way we've got this set up isn't sustainable. So they're looking at what does sustainability look like from this really resource intensive island. We've thought of our resources being the water, the ocean, and people coming and playing in the sun and the sand. And that's been a very profitable process for the Hawaiian Islands. But it's becoming clear to the local people that that's not profitable to them. It isn't working for them. And so there has been a movement here called sovereignty. Now, I'm going to probably get things wrong. So if you're a local person again, and if you're and I'm doing this, please do not hesitate to correct me. I don't mind. I am not so thin-skinned that I can't take hearing what I need to hear to make this story correct. So don't be afraid to say something. It's okay with me. Leave a comment. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, so other people like that are in this community can hear that there are some empathetic truths coming forward from spirit, mind you. This isn't from me. You might think, oh, well, she thinks she's all that. She's sitting here telling us, who we are and whatever. Don't worry about all that. I'm an astrologer. I've been a reader my entire life, and I have quite a story to share with you over time. Now, what's going on here in Hawaii this time? The forecast, the 13th, the full moon over Hawaii. So very much influencing this entire week. Well, the full moon is coming in. Let's find it. It's coming in 9 degrees, 3rd house, 30 minutes. And it's saying that I'm bringing humanitarian awareness to the 3rd house, where people are suffering. I'm bringing exposure to the process that's taken place here. I am receptive to showing what's happening to my people, this humanitarian crisis. Now let's move back to the 1st house, where you have Neptune, 4 degrees, 32 minutes. That is saying that Neptune, that crisis upon crisis and survival of the local people. 5 is in divine destruction. Jupiter, something expanded. 5, so 23 degrees is 5, 41 is 5. This divine destruction, but it leads to a 10 and an 11 on the Neptune. So something civic brings awareness of the crisis that is expanding upon the local people. And we're starting to think about it by progression. Mercury in the 1st house. Mars, we are aware of the hot, prodding fire that is upon us. These people are intuitive. They're highly aware. They're fire dominant, 8 points in fire. And with Mars in retrograde, they're very much aware. The sun is right on the cusp at the end of Libra in an anaretic position, a 29, which is an 11, again, a civic, and that's today's date. And it's saying that this crisis and the hidden enemies that the people of Hawaii face are in the process of being exposed. That the death of the Hawaiian people is going to be exposed. Without the Hawaiian people, there is no aloha. There is no Hawaii. You may not totally relate or understand this in some ways. If you're, just got to be here and don't really have a sense that it's wrong in some ways to pay $5,000 a month, unless you're here for a few weeks, a month, that's okay. That, pay your $5,000 a month. That's completely okay. That's a certain type of property we have here set up specifically for that purpose. But when you come here and you say, okay, I just love it, I can't leave, and I'm going to pay $5,000 a month because I'm so desperate to have this lovely experience. Just remember, you're putting somebody right out of their ability to pay for something for themselves. That people that live here are from here. The people from here are leaving this place in droves because of this issue. So it is no minor issue. So then let's move on. Why is this happening? Well, we have Pluto that is on the cusp of of the third and fourth house. Where are we transforming? Well, one area we're transforming is we're gaining awareness or gaining information. We've been going over the details. Our ancestors are dredging this stuff up and saying, now you guys need to look at this. You need to look at who you are. That comes out to be a 9 and a 3. And you need to work together as a team to do something about this, because the collective Aquarius isn't going to do anything for you. They're not about love. They're Aquarian. They're going to just keep coming. They want to be here. They'll take over. You have to do your part. You have to draw your lines. You have to have boundaries. Why do I say that? Well, look at where Saturn is. Saturn's in the 4th. Saturn is saying to Aquarius, oh no, we need to limit this for the survival of the people. And that is the truth. Then you have Neptune in Pisces, where 7, theft of the divine, theft of the people, the drama that's unfolding here, and that nobody is talking about. No, the people that live here are talking about it. If you say to a person that is from here, that, I understand there's homelessness here, but yet I don't see it. Oh my goodness, you talk about opening a can of worms. You're going to hear about it. It's going to trigger the people, and they're going to tell you things that you're going to feel like you wish you wouldn't open the can of worms. And why not? Why can't they say what's true? Jupiter by transit, sitting over their south node and their moon, 8 degrees exact on their 6th house of how they get by, how they earn money in Aries. Very painful times for these people. You can't make it on $15 an hour. I don't even hardly think you can eat on $15 an hour, and you certainly aren't driving anywhere. And one of the little nasty local tricks that I've seen here, which I'm disgusted by, is that they come and get them in a bus. Okay. And a lot of the people are standing around waiting, maybe off work, who knows, an hour, 2 hours, 4, who knows. And they all go in the bus at the same time. They get picked up at the same time. They get dropped off at the same time. We're treating them like they're slaves. We're gathering them up like slaves, and we're dropping them off and saying, go slave for me and be nice to the customers. An impossible story, but yet they do it day in and day out. And I don't want to encourage anybody to not get a paycheck here, because people like to eat. People need to eat, but people also need housing. And what do we have in partnership? We have our North Node by progression 10, where this is becoming a massive crisis, 19 and 19, where we are seeing the effects of the price of gas, the costs of food, people selling their homes for unreasonable amounts of money. A 3-bedroom house that I would pay $37,000 for when I was in my 20s, here, 1.2 million. And I'm not kidding. We're talking small, humble homes, 1.2 million. Okay. Land here is a premium. This is not right. I don't know what the balance to be struck is, but I hope that it occurs, and I hope it occurs quickly for the people of this beautiful, beautiful land. Okay, and what do they have in the 8th house? Venus in information by transit. And that is saying that they're being exposed. Their money is going out the window because Venus is money. Their love is coming from a dark place now because of how we treat them. And nobody's really being honest with themselves about what it might mean overall to the people. And so, unfortunately, my forecast this week is rather dour, but needs to be done. It's truthful. We have the sun, 20 degrees, 37 minutes. That's a 2. It's about partnerships in a foreign land. And this isn't viewed as the United States by the people who truly feel differently, because they say their queen was abducted. This land was stolen. And the billionaires come here by the minute. And that's so troubling. We just sold to Jeff Bezos in Maui, and Kauai is owned by Zuckerberg, and it's disgusting. I mean, don't think that the people here aren't sticking their noses in there going, oh, you don't belong here. You really don't belong here. But that being said, They're here. We have to deal with it, right? So your son is saying this process is right here. And notice that the moon by progression, so the sun by transit sitting right on top of the moon, also during a full moon. So this is a double whammy for them. The moon twice. So this is a huge emphasis this time for the people of Hawaii. Okay, and the moon, it's a dead hit on the sun progressed moon, 20 degrees, 17 minutes, where the people are going in partnership. I can't give any more. I don't have the money. For me, this is turning into a real crisis. I'm living on the streets. I'm pricing a tent. I'm asking on the local ads if someone has camping equipment, so me and my children have a place to live. And if you're coming to Hawaii and you feel okay about that, think twice. I want you to visit here, but I want you to do so appropriately. And one of the ways you can do that is by renting an ohana from a local. Give them the money. Do your due diligence, do your homework. Stay away from those big metropolis hotels right on the ocean front. It's not really much of a vacation anyway. You know, you're getting told who to be, how to be, where to look, what to do, where to eat, how much to spend. Don't think you're not. Everything is set up to keep you right there in that resort. It's designed to keep you feeding from their trough so they make the money. Don't think otherwise. And so then you have the stellium between the 10th and the 11th house, where it's saying that all of this huge, massive energy is going into the details, into the ways of making money. Venus 14 and 33, 14 degrees, 33 minutes, 5 and 33 would be 6. How these families get by, 11 civically, and they're not making it via progression in the 11th house of groups. They're struggling, and the stellium is saying the way they think is being uprooted. The way they see themselves is that they have to put up with your toxicness to get income for their needs, to buy their cars, to pay for their belongings. Okay, this is a real mess here. Then you have sun in the anaretic position, 29 degrees, which brings this story full circle, where it's about ready to roll over into the first house. So it is weak right now in Libra, in the house of partnerships. It's weakening, and it is preparing to roll into Scorpio, digging down deep into the truth. So don't expect to come here now in the future, the way this is setting up, and have that lovely vacation without you having a good deal of boundaries yourself. And with that, please do hit the like, share, and subscribe. If you leave comments that are unkind, I do filter, and so they will not be tolerated. They will not make it to the comment section. So please do keep that in mind. I realize what I just said here was a little sharp, but I believe that sharp is way overdue, and the people here are needing the truth to be exposed for their survival. And myself personally, I love the local people. They're some of the most beautiful people. You may not feel that way when you meet them because they're kind of angry with us, and rightfully so. But when they recognize that you love them, let me tell you something, and they love you right back. And with that, I thank you for joining me here today. And hit the like, share, and subscribe. I don't grow without you. Thank you so much.